tonight on First at 9 this Wednesday, the 1st of October 2025. Honouring generations. Sri Lanka celebrates World Children's Day and Elders' Day. Prime Minister pledges violence-free discipline for children. Government launches national policy on senior citizens. Faithful ally. Stronger ties with China always benefit Sri Lanka, says the Chinese ambassador. Plastic toll. Sri Lanka to introduce a fee for plastic shopping bags from next month. Export growth. Sri Lanka's external sector continues to strengthen in August with consecutive current account surpluses.
Kalin baby soap rupial 90කට. Kalin baby podi හැමෝටමයි.
This is Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening, you're joining First at 9, brought to you by Sri Lanka's most trusted news source, Derana. I'm Tharindu Mahendra, joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. In your top story this evening, Sri Lanka celebrated World Children's Day today under the theme Protect with Love, Empower to Conquer the World. Addressing the national celebration, Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya emphasised that the proposed amendment to the Penal Code aims to end violence against children, not prevent adults from disciplining them. Meanwhile, World Elders' Day too was celebrated today. In line with the celebration, the national policy on senior citizens was unveiled.
Sri Lanka celebrated World Children's Day today under the theme Protect with Love, Empower to Conquer the World. The National Children's Day celebration was held today at Temple Trees under the patronage of Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya. During the event, the first day cover and commemorative stamp for the year's Children's Day were presented to the Prime Minister. As the incumbent government, we remain committed to building a better world for our children. While October 1st is observed as World Children's Day, we will also celebrate National Children's Day once again on November 20th.
November 20 වෙනිදා ලෝකයේ බොහෝ රටවල් සමරනු ලබන මේ ළමා දිනය ලංකාවෙත් ඒ වෙනුවෙන් අපි අදාළ කටයුතු සාකච්ඡා කරමින් ඉන්නවා. මෙවර ලෝක ළමා දිනයේ තේමාව
This year, the theme for World Children's Day is Protect with Love, Empower to Conquer the World. In line with this, a bill to amend the Penal Code focusing on preventing child abuse was presented in Parliament. The intention of this amendment is to end violence against children, not prevent adults from disciplining them. Currently, a misconception is circulating suggesting that the bill restricts adults from guiding or educating children. Parents and teachers can still discipline children if necessary. This law is not designed to penalize parents or teachers for maintaining discipline. Rules, regulations and traditions exist in schools. They must be respected and their breach punished. Importantly, discipline does not require physical punishment. Those are separate matters.
දඬුවම් දීම සමානයි වද හිංසාවට ලක් කිරීම කියන එක. මේක දෙකක්.
Concurrently, World Elders' Day was also celebrated today under the theme Let's Protect a Generation that has built a generation. The national celebration, along with the launch of the National Policy for Senior Citizens, was held this morning at the Battaramulla Suhurupaya complex under the patronage of the Prime Minister.
වැඩිහිටියන්ට සැලකීම, ඔවුන් රැක බලා ගැනීම.
It is a duty of a civilized society to honor its elders, care for them, and ensure they live with dignity in their twilight years. As a government, we fully uphold these principles and remain committed to safeguarding and promoting these values.
ඒ වෙනුවෙන් කැපවී සිටින බව මේ අවස්ථාවේ ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න කැමැතියි.
Issuing a message for the World Children's Day and Elders' Day, the President affirmed the government's commitment to safeguarding the rights and well-being of both these generations as they continue to work tirelessly to enhance the welfare of children as well as elders. The head of state emphasized that in this year's budget, the government has placed particular emphasis on improving healthcare, education and other support services for children with developmental challenges including autism.
ඔයාගේ හීන ලන්තයට අපිත් එක්ක යන්න අදම සනස ලයිෆ් එක ඉන්ෂුවර් වෙන්න.
In celebration of World Children's Day, Derana Signal Ahasin Gamanak offered children a unique opportunity to view Sri Lanka's scenic and historic landmarks from the air. 250 lucky participants embarked on the flight, which was specially organised to provide them with a memorable and extraordinary experience.
Derana Signal Ahasin Gamanak. A program by Derana Media Network offered a truly unforgettable experience to children this year in celebration of World Children's Day, giving them once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to witness the breathtaking beauty of Sri Lanka from the skies. As part of the program, a special competition invited children aged 12 to 15 to submit drawings, essays or short video presentations on the theme Ahasin Dakina Mage Rata. From among the many creative submissions, 250 outstanding entries were selected, granting the winners the opportunity to take part in this extraordinary journey. Those selected for the tour were to take off from the Bandaranaike International Airport and witness aerial views of the Colombo Port City, Galle, Sripada, Nuwara, Piduruthalagala, Sigiriya, Mullaitivu, Delft Island, Anuradhapura and Kurunegala. Early this morning, the excited young participants gathered at the TV Derana head office, eager to begin what promised to be one of the most memorable experiences of their lives. They were then transported in 5 luxury coaches to Bandaranaike International Airport, where they were warmly welcomed by airport officials. With the support of the airport staff and Sri Lankan Airlines, the children were treated to an authentic flying experience. Brimming with excitement, the children shared their feelings on what promised to be an unforgettable journey.
මට ඇත්තටම හිතුන්නේ මම තේරෙයි කියලා මම නිකන් මගේ යාළුවෙක් කියපු තොරතුරු අනුව යවුවේ මට දැන් හිතෙනවා අපි දැන් කුරුල්ලාගේ රෝකේ වටේ යනවා වගේ.
This will undoubtedly be a truly remarkable experience for the children. It's not just an exciting journey but also an educational one that will broaden their horizons. During the flight, we will be flying over several significant landmarks across the country. I believe this initiative stands out as one of the most impactful World Children's Day programs anywhere in the world. It also marks an important milestone for Sri Lankan Airlines, and we are delighted and proud to be a part of such a meaningful project.
බොහොම සන්තෝෂයෙන් මේ කාර්යයට සහභාගී වෙනවා ස්පෙෂලි අපගේ ගුවන් සේවිකාවන් සියලු දෙනා.
Boarding UL-20, one of the largest aircrafts in the Sri Lankan Airlines fleet, many of the children fulfilled their dream of flying for the very first time. After an inspiring 2-hour flight, the aircraft carrying the young adventurers landed safely back at Bandaranaike International Airport, bringing their aerial adventure to a close.
President Anura Dissanayake, after successfully concluding his official visit to Japan, returned to Sri Lanka this morning. On his final day in Japan, the president met with Emperor Naruhito and members of the Japan-Sri Lanka Parliamentary League. President Anura Dissanayake met with Emperor Naruhito at the Imperial Palace in Tokyo yesterday afternoon. The president was warmly received by Emperor Naruhito and engaged in cordial discussions. President Dissanayake also met with members of the Japan-Sri Lanka Parliamentary League. Chairman of the league Yoshitaka Shindo and Secretary General Yuko Obuchi expressed their commitment to working closely with President Dissanayake to further strengthen cooperation between parliamentarians of the two countries. They also emphasized their intention to enhance collaboration in the political, economic and cultural spheres for the mutual benefit of both nations. Concluding his 3-day official visit to Japan, President Dissanayake returned to Sri Lanka this morning.
The World Education Fair 2025 entrance free. Register now.
Chinese ambassador to Sri Lanka, Chi Zhenhong, says history has shown Sri Lanka stands to gain as its relationship with China strengthens. Issuing a message on the 76th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China, Ambassador Chi noted that in the future, ties between the two countries are expected to become even more valuable and influential in the region.
October 1st, 2025 marks the 76th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. China always firmly safeguards Sri Lanka's interests in matters of sovereignty, security, and on both bilateral and multilateral occasions. Over the past 76 years, China and Sri Lanka have stood in solidarity in times of challenge and pulled together in the face of difficulties. China has always been among the first to extend a helping hand. history has repeatedly proved that the closer the relationship between China and Sri Lanka, the more beneficial it will be to Sri Lanka's development and the livelihood of her people. The more capable Sri Lanka will be in resisting external risks and challenges. As time goes by, the friendship between our two countries will become more valuable and influential, with his role as a positive asset become ever more prominent.
Meanwhile, in China, the national flag was raised at Tiananmen Square in Beijing today to mark the 76th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. President Xi Jinping, who attended the National Day celebration, urged the people not to support Taiwan's attempts to secede from China and gain independence.
Minister of Justice and National Integration Harshana Nanayakkara reaffirms Sri Lanka's commitment to safeguarding the human rights of all citizens. He made this statement during the International Convention for the Protection of All Persons from Enforced Disappearance at the 29th session of the United Nations Committee on Enforced Disappearance in Geneva. He highlighted the ongoing work of the officers on missing persons, reparations and national unity and reconciliation, as well as robust actions by national authorities in addressing enforced disappearances. Minister Nanayakkara emphasized the government's vision to strengthen democratic institutions, enhance public trust and ensure political, economic and social stability. He noted that engagement with the committee is not just a reporting duty, but an opportunity to reinforce accountability and protect the rights and dignity of all citizens in line with international standards. Induwara Vidanagamage, the eldest son of Aruna Vidanagamage alias Kajja, contradicts his mother's statement that Kajja was present in the suspicious vehicle following the one in which rugby player Wasim Tajuddin died. He also claimed that criminal figure Bako Saman, who is accused of orchestrating Kajja's murder and is currently under remand custody, had credited money to his mother's account following his father's death.
Acting police spokesperson ASP Minura Senarath revealed yesterday that Aruna Vidanagamage alias Kajja, who was recently murdered in Middenia, was in the suspicious vehicle which had followed the vehicle in which the rugby player Wasim Tajuddin was killed in 2012, according to his wife.
අපරාධ පරීක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව වසීම් තාජුදීන් මහතාගේ
During the review of CCTV footage showing Tajuddin's movements, it was observed that he stopped to purchase a water bottle at a store in Havelock City. At the same time, a suspicious vehicle with an unidentified individual was seen following his vehicle. This individual was not immediately recognized by the police. Meanwhile, investigations regarding Bako Saman revealed that he is directly connected to the murder of Aruna Vidanagamage alias Kajja. Kajja's wife also informed the CID that Bako Saman is directly linked to her husband's murder. She further stated that during a YouTube interview in 2023, Kajja had revealed details about the murder of Wasim Tajuddin, which subsequently led to numerous threats against his life. Subsequently, CID officials showed her the CCTV footage of the suspicious vehicle and the individuals following Tajuddin's vehicle. Based on the action of this individual in the footage, she confirmed that the person was her husband, Aruna Vidanagamage, also known as Kajja.
Meanwhile, Induwara Vidanagamage, the eldest son of Aruna Vidanagamage, convened a press conference this afternoon to share his views on the revelation.
ඔය මියගියා කියන පුද්ගලයා 2012 දී මිය ගියද්දී
When Wasim Tajuddin died in 2012, my father was working as a conductor on Horana Colombo buses. When my father died, the CID questioned me and showed me a video asking whether it was my father. At that time, I could not recognize the individual, but based on his physical features, I said it was not my father. However, my mother mentioned that my father had back pain, which is true, but that pain occurred after an accident in 2016 in Ratnapura. I want to clarify that my father did not commit that crime. I am not claiming that he is innocent in all matters. After all, he is my father. My mother and I were questioned simultaneously by the CID while being shown this video. At that moment, I clearly heard my mother say that the person in the video was not Aruna. Later, my mother was questioned separately and I do not know what was discussed at that time. If my father committed any wrongdoing, it is appropriate to prosecute him, but it is wrong to link a deceased person to a crime he did not commit. The individual known as JCB Saman spoke with our father despite having a dispute. I am not sure if there was any hidden intention. On the day of my father and siblings were murdered, my mother was not informed about my siblings' deaths as she was returning from Dubai. Within 2 to 3 hours after the incident, JCB someone called me, apologized for what happened and said he had credited 250,000 rupees to my mother's bank account. He also told me to ask my mother for money if needed. When I asked her, she initially denied it but later confessed after I showed her proof. By then we realized that JCB someone was the primary suspect in my father's death.
Meanwhile, several political figures commented on the development.
We had Ranil Wickremesinghe week, then ICE week and now Tajuddin's week. We don't know what comes next. This government as well as the previous good governance government made various false accusations targeting the Rajapaksa family. Since 2015, our family has been investigated with attempts to validate lies they spread publicly. What we are asking for the government is to conduct impartial investigations. People who prepared the B report of Wasim Tajuddin's case incorrectly are holding advisory positions in the current government. Those who hid Tajuddin's phone conversations are now advisors to the president. It is obvious that they cannot conduct a proper investigation into Tajuddin's case. However, since the government promised to act, we are holding them accountable. Do not divert the investigation by blaming Kajja. New information about Tajuddin is being revealed. These are not minor crimes committed in villages. These are crimes committed by the leaders of this country. These investigations were suppressed. Even the president at the UN Assembly vowed to create a law-abiding country. We have been elected to office for 60 months. Only 12 have passed. We have another 48 months to go. All these criminals will be prosecuted according to the law by then.
In more crime-related developments, police have frozen 50 million rupees worth of assets belonging to suspected large-scale drug trafficker Vindani Priyadarshika Suryarachi alias Poddi. Meanwhile, Sridharan Niranjan alias Tinker, a suspect in multiple murders, was extradited to Sri Lanka today from the United Arab Emirates.
Sridharan Niranjan, alias Tinker, a suspect in multiple crimes, was extradited to Sri Lanka today from the United Arab Emirates. The 36-year-old, an associate of the notorious criminal leader and drug trafficker Palanishiran Glorian, is a suspect in multiple murders in Paliagoda and Grand Pass. The suspect was handed over to the custody of the Paliagoda police. Meanwhile, the Illegal Asset Investigation Division has frozen 50 million rupees worth of assets belonging to Vindani Priyadarshika Suryarachi, alias Poddi, a suspect drug trafficker. The frozen assets included 3-story building worth 20 million rupees, 3 showrooms worth 22.5 million and another showroom worth 7.5 million located on Ferguson Road. Police said the suspect has fled the area. Meanwhile, a drug trafficker known by the alias Kiri Ibba was arrested today in Gonagarara by Monragala police. He is suspected of distributing narcotics in Buttala and Monragala. The suspect was found in possession of narcotics concealed in the seams of his trousers. In the meantime, a cache of military equipment was discovered last night by the army in Veheragala Reservoir in Kataragama. The cache included 215 T-56 magazines, 38 LMG drums, 20 MPMG magazines and 6 T-81 magazines. The stock of ammunition has been handed over to Gonagarara police for further investigations. Meanwhile, 4 illegal registered jeeps with a combined value of 40 million rupees were seized at 4 separate locations by the Central Crime Investigation Bureau. The vehicles were discovered in accordance with information received by IGP Priyantha Veerasurya.
A Gazette notification will be issued today prohibiting the free provision of polythene bags with purchased goods. The Gazette will also impose fees in a bid to deter the use of plastic bags. During the hearing of a fundamental rights petition on this matter before the Supreme Court today, Minister of Trade, Commerce, Food Security and Cooperative Development Wasantha Samarasinghe informed court that the Gazette notification would take effect from November 1st.
A fundamental rights petition filed by the Centre for Environmental Justice seeking a directive to implement a program to reduce the use of polythene due to its environmental impact was taken up before the Supreme Court today. In a motion submitted to court, the Centre for Environmental Justice noted that on the 28th of March 2024, the Minister of Environment had agreed to impose a tax on shopping bags issued to consumers by commercial establishments including supermarkets to curb their usage. Attorney at Law Dr. Ramindranath Dabare, representing the Centre for Environmental Justice, informed court that the motion was necessary as the respondents had not yet acted on this agreement. Representing the respondents, Deputy Solicitor General Dr. Avanti Pereira stated that a gazette notification would be issued to allow a fee to be levied on shopping bags starting the 1st of November. The Centre for Environmental Justice accepted this proposal, prompting court to order that the matter be settled accordingly. In the wake of these developments, Minister of Trade, Commerce, Food Security and Cooperative Development, Wasantha Samarasinghe, shared his views on several matters, including the regulations governing polythene bags, during a press conference today.
A gazette notification will be issued through which consumers will be charged for using polythene bags at supermarkets. The Supreme Court ruled that a fee must be levied on shopping bags starting from November. Accordingly, the Consumer Affairs Authority has been authorized to issue the relevant gazette. The notification will be issued today.
පොඩි වංගුවක් ගන්න ඉඩ තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒවත් වාරණය වෙනවද මේ ආණ්ඩේ මිලත් එක්ක බෑග් එකේ මිල තියෙන්න බෑ.
The cost of the shopping bag will not be added to the price of the product itself. The court has ordered that the price of the bag must be listed separately on the bill.
5-10ද කියලා බෑ. බෑග් එකේ මිල සටහන් වෙන්න ඕන.
Leader of Sarva Jana Balaya parliamentarian Dilith Jayavira hails entrepreneurship to be the spirit of progress and calls on Sri Lankans to think creatively, proactively and positively to ignite the country's entrepreneurial spirit. He made these remarks during a party meeting held in Agalavatta, Kalutara.
The Agalavatta Electorate Sarvajana Sabha was officially set up under the patronage of Sarvajana Balaya's leader, Dilith Jayavira.
Across all developed nations, one of the strongest forces driving progress is the spirit of entrepreneurship. However, entrepreneurship cannot be narrowed down to creating entrepreneurs. It is far broader than that. Entrepreneurship is an attitude. When people begin to think positively, creatively and proactively about themselves, that is when the true entrepreneurial attitude prospers. If a state fosters positivity and innovation, it becomes an entrepreneurial nation. That is not the reality we see today. Instead, selfishness, jealousy and anger dominate, and such nations cannot be truly succeed. The incumbent government has lied so often and so gravely that their falsehood wrap reality today. They continue down this path shamelessly. When people are not inhibited by shame or fear, everything becomes permissible. We see leaders making remarks today only to completely deny them tomorrow. They act as if those remarks were never made. This is not the kind of politics we wish to practice. We aspire to build a loving political relationship. We invite you to join us in shaping a new and better political relationship.
ඉතින් අපි මේ දේශපාලනය නෙමෙයි මේ කරන්නට හදන්නේ. ඔබත් එක්ක ආදරණීය දේශපාලනයක් කරන්නට අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙන්නයි කියලා අපි ආරාධනා කරන්නේ.
Welcome back. Sri Lanka's external sector continued to strengthen in August this year, with the current account recording consecutive monthly surpluses. Total exports, including merchandise and services, reached $13.9 billion in the first 8 months of 2025, up 5.6% year-on-year. The merchandise trade deficit narrowed as export growth outpaced imports. Vehicle imports in August amounted to $249 million, bringing year-to-date imports to $918 million. Tourism earnings from January to August totaled $2.3 billion, with August contributing $259 million. Workers' remittances rose 17.9% year-on-year to $681 million in August. Gross official reserves increased slightly to $6.2 billion by end August despite ongoing debt servicing. The Sri Lankan rupee depreciated 3.3% against the US dollar year-to-date as of August. The Free Trade Zone Manufacturers Association, the National Chamber of Commerce and the Sri Lanka Chamber of Small and Medium Industries have filed a writ application before the Court of Appeal against the government's decision to start collecting value-added tax from today. They argue that the Inland Revenue Department is moving ahead without first launching the legally required automated refund system or publishing details of the risk-based refund scheme in the Gazette. The petition notes that the government scrapped the simplified VAT scheme earlier this year with a promise to introduce a new automated refund mechanism by October 1st. However, no such system has been implemented and the criteria for the refund scheme's green, amber and red channels remain undisclosed. The chambers say this move is unlawful, unreasonable and violates constitutional rights. The Colombo Bourse closed in positive territory today as a result of price gains in counters such as Hatton National Bank, Carson Cumberbatch and the Colombo Fort Land and Building. The benchmark ASPI gained 72.70 points to close at 21,851.30, while the more liquid S&P Sri Lanka 20 gained 12.26 points to end the day at 6,138.79. Market turnover was 6.4 billion rupees. Foreign participation in market activity remained at subdued levels, with foreigners closing as net sellers, with foreign sales worth 90 million rupees. Up next, we have Dinuka Dharmasena from Capital Alliance in our next segment, Economic Outlook.
The average weighted prime lending rate eased slightly to 8.05%, while the call money rate held at 7.86%. Market liquidity strengthened. Further, investor sentiment stayed positive. All share price index climbed 2.4% to close at 21,599 points, and the S&P SL20 rose nearly 2% to 6,112 points. On the fiscal side, government revenue and grants for the first 8 months of the year rose sharply to 3.3 trillion rupees, up from 2.6 trillion a year earlier. Expenditure also increased, but the budget deficit narrowed significantly, falling to 411 billion rupees.
That's all for tonight from First at 9. Thank you for joining. Have a great night.